guys, welcome back. This tutorial is probably one of my favorites. It's highlighting and contouring, and I feel like this has made a huge difference in my makeup routine. It's totally just makes your face look really awesome and glowy and just smooths everything out. And so highlighting and contouring. For contouring, you want to use a matte color, one that's not too orange and one that's not too gray. I use Benefit's Hoola. This is what it looks like on the inside. It's a matte color. You can use shimmery bronzers if you want to for it. I just think that the matte looks a little bit better. In person, shimmery is fine. In pictures, shimmer doesn't show up, and it actually kind of looks muddy sometimes and greasy. So I just like the matte look better, but whatever you prefer. So I am going to start the Hoola. I use the MAC 167 SE. It's for bronzing brush. You can use like a powder brush if you want to. That's what I used to use. I just started using this and I love it. So I'm going to dip my brush into the bronzing powder, shake out the excess, and you're going to want to form the shape of a 3 on the side of your face. So go right under the cheekbone and then right on your jawline. And you're going to do it really lightly. So you can kind of see the difference between the two sides of my face, how this one's looking more contoured and my cheekbones look higher already. And if you go along your jawline, it'll just make it look really nice and square and give it good shape. To this side. And you want to go up into your hairline just to give you a nice glow as well. It's giving your face a good shape. And then kind of take it without putting more product on here and blend that color down your neck. And you want it blended it enough where it doesn't look like obvious lines, but you can kind of see it without seeing it, if that makes sense. So you don't want to over blend it and you don't want to under blend it. Alright, my favorite part. So my nose, I hate it. There's this little bump here and it makes it look crooked to me. So this is my favorite part for contouring. I take kind of a bigger angled brush. You can also use, if you don't have a brush like this, your eyeshadow brush, that flat end. Wah! And draw a line down with it, but I'm going to take this one and do it. So I dip it into the same bronzing powder. I start right by my eyebrow and follow that line, and especially over that bump that I really don't like, I'm going to do a really good straight line. And you're going to look like a freak while you're doing this. Like an alien, as I call it, and I kind of blend it down my nose. This is going to thin everything out and kind of reshape your nose. It looks nice and straight. Also, if you have a crooked nose, this is great. So let's say your nose is crooked. You're going to go lighter shade on this side, so you're not going to contour this part, only this part. And then you're going to put a little highlighter on there, and it'll just straighten everything out. Do the same thing underneath my lip, because I have really thin lips. So I like to make them look bigger and pop it out. So I'm going to go under my bottom lip only. Alright, so I look crazy. But I'm going to take that fluffy end of my eyeshadow brush and blend everything in. So you want to blend it in enough to where it's not super noticeable, but you still want to tell that there's some definition there. So we're in little circles. And And I'm going to go over that one spot again because I feel like it's still... Alright, so you can already tell my lip looks a little bit bigger, my nose looks a little bit straighter. We're going to go into the highlighting portion now. So for highlighting, I like to use my Makeup Forever Professional palette. It is a cream palette. This is palette 5, so it has 5 different colors. I really don't ever use the green or the orange. These are color correctors down here. These are more the cover-ups on this end. During the winter, when I'm really white, I'll use the lightest one. Makes everything pop more. If I'm doing more of a high fashion look and I really want the contrast, I'll use this. Summer, I'm a little bit tanner, so I'll use the second color in here. Take a little bit on your finger. You're going to want to create a triangle kind of underneath your eye, so start here. This is going to make your cheekbones pop out a little bit and create that nice light so that you don't look like you have baggy eyes. You're going to go down straight as you can get, down the center of your nose. So you're going to go in the high planes of your face is what you're trying to pop out. And you can put a little, if you have issues with unibrow or hair growing here, put a little bit in between and it'll make it look like there's nothing there. Same with above your lip. If you have a little facial hair there, this makes it so that there's no weird shadows. It just pops everything out. And a little bit on the tip of your chin. So I'm going to take my MAC 130 foundation brush that I used in the first video, the flat tipped one, and blend everything in really lightly again, because you don't want to blend it completely away, but you want to keep that triangle shape. Alright, so that's done. So once again, I'm going to use that setting powder just to really make sure that that cover-up isn't going to move at all on my face. So I am going to take that Cover FX in Light Matte, put just a little bit on in the lid, and I swirl around with my big fluffy powder brush and just barely dab it on. You don't want to be over powdered because it's going to look really cakey and dry, especially if you do have dry skin like me. You don't want too much of it soaking the moisture out. So after that, I'm going to take my Smashbox palette, and I am a big fan of mixing and matching. So I'm going to mix 2 of their highlighting shades, Shimmer, which is kind of like a champagne-y light look to it, and then Lens, which is a more of a coral orange, which I think looks really pretty for summer. So I'm going to try to show you the 2. And you can't really see, but there's the 2 I'm going to use. So I'm just going to lightly touch like a blush brush in there and mix them. And then just lightly tap it onto the top of my cheekbones. And you want to lightly tap because you don't want to get overkill on this, because you're going to look like a shiny, crazy person. So on the top of my nose, and on my chin, and right above my lip. For my nose, I kind of like to flatten the brush and just to make sure it doesn't get everywhere. Alright, last off, I'm going to finish with some blush. In the summer, your blush likes to move around a lot. I like to kind of mix and match again. So I use the cream blush from MAC in Posy. It's kind of a red-based blush. So I'll swirl around that same blush brush. Lightly tap into my cheeks. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to finish off with a powder blush from that Smashbox palette. It is the Warm Apricot, and it's a coral orange on the bottom, that one, right there. I'm going to tap it in. And again, just lightly blend. You don't want it too crazy. If you're doing a photo shoot, you should go a little heavier. Blush doesn't really show up very much on camera. So do a little bit heavier than you normally do. And then just to make sure everything blends in nicely, I'm going to take a big fan brush and go over my face. You always want to sweep upwards instead of down because you want things lifted instead of dragging. Alright, so that's it for highlighting and contouring. I'm going to finish off with my eyebrows and mascara next tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and this helps out a little bit. Thanks.